Hello there everybody and welcome to a VOD review. So this is a game between Florida State University and XDLMO. So this is in the Ranked 5's queue on the North American server. And so let's get down to business. So I'm watching this gameplay from the red side perspective, which is FSU. And so yeah, let's have a look at the comps quickly. So they've drafted a siege, a team that can poke, it can siege, and it can split push really well. It has decent pick, but I would say that the enemy team has much better. So they've got the Orianna mid lane, which gives really good CC, it's got really good AoE crowd control. They've got a Bard support, which again, very good AoE crowd control. Brings a lot in the way of soft CC, but then also has the stun from the Q. They've got the Gragas, which again, very good crowd control, can separate an entire team fight, and is really good for picking out individual targets. They've got a Caitlyn. She's got individual CC in the form of a trap, then she's got the soft CC with the net. She also has very long range, so she's good for sieging. Then you have Fiora. She's a really good duelist, as in the name, and she's really good for split pushing. So they're against an enemy team which is really good for an AoE team fight again, but is much stronger in a pick than them. Now they have, again, the win conditions of a split push, but theirs is much weaker than the Fiora. So these are pretty much two mirror teams in the way that their win conditions work, but each team has a slightly different strength. So blue team has a much stronger pick than the red team, but red team has much stronger other conditions. So we're going to watch this game in 2 times for the first couple of seconds. So they're going to go for a topside invade on the red side, which is... it's a good place to invade. They have a strong team for invading. They've got the Bard, which gives a really strong stun. Now, Caitlyn should not be running in front, and she corrects herself in that regard. Now, we're going to show you something here. So this is a positional error. Okay, so these two are going to walk back. We'll play like 1 more second. Caitlyn is exposed on her own. There is no vision on these flanks, so she's very vulnerable. They know where the Yasuo is, they know where the Aurelia is, and that's it. After that, Caitlyn is in a very vulnerable position, so they just need to ward their flanks and it'll make sure that they're safe all the time. So they've shown their positions now. They couldn't get lane matchup boards, so there will not be a lane swap happening. So yeah, they will be looking to just do standard lanes. We're going to go into double speed again. So jungler's starting topside, so he should be looking to gank mid or bot lane around level 3. It should be about, yeah, or around 3 minutes. So bot lane good setup. They didn't stand in any defensive positions to protect the buffs, which could have cost them a blue buff, but you know, hey, whatever. Now this top lane is a very interesting matchup. The Aurelia plays into the Fiora's hands. She walks up into melee range and allows Caitlyn to get the mark stacks. Mid lane, it's Fiora v Orianna. No, Yasuo v Orianna. So it's a very backwards and forth trading lane, and Orianna has a choice of 2 ways she can play it. She can either be super passive and farm, or she can play the Yasuo game and decide to trade back. Now this Orianna decides to trade back because the Yasuo is very aggressive and goes very deep all the time. So in the bot lane they can play very passively, but again they decide to push it in, which I don't think is the best choice for them. Especially here, so they've warded this side of the river. Okay, they're very open to ganks from here, here, and if they just steamroll it in through the river. They're pushed up way too far with no defensive vision other than this ward. They have nothing to protect them from a Rengar that could just run down the river and catch them. They have to look out for the Morgana, which has a really strong stun of 2 seconds. Or root, even. Not stun, root. And then there's going to be... yeah, this Fiora here. So they got the first blood. She should be freezing the lane towards the middle and not trying to push it in. There is no need for her to be pushing this lane in. She could be freezing it and creating a huge deficit between her and Aurelia. Now this is going to be a very close play. So Orianna gets out, just misplaces the ball. She pushed it over this wall, she would have got that kill. But again, Fiora still forcing this wave in. This one she has to force in to try and get it to bounce. but that's because of poor planning earlier. She should have frozen this wave. Because again, it's an Aurelia, she will turn around any misposition and end it with a kill. It doesn't matter how far ahead of her you are, she will do it every time. And as you can see, here, she's done it. So what happened there, she stepped into tower range, got stunned with the equilibrium strike, took 2 tower hits, and at that point, Aurelia could do the rest. That's the state of Aurelia in that matchup. Now in this game, Fiora has to get ahead. Otherwise, Aurelia can out-push them, and they'll be in a bad position. So here is what I was just talking to you guys about. Rengar came in, he just steamrolled through here. Okay, he didn't check in this bush and sit, wait. He just went for it, and that caught the Bard, and that's when they were stood in the middle of the lane. So they were stood slightly further back, and had a bit more time to react than if they were here. And they still got caught. Now here's another mistake. So Caitlyn decides, okay, we're gonna run out. She runs to him. At this point she should be running back. She shouldn't be trying to fight with this Rengar. They have no idea what's going to happen with the enemy bot lane. They're not paying attention to their rotations. And instead try and get a greedy kill. Now Caitlyn kites away from safety. She kites towards Gragas but away from safety. Does that make sense? So at this point they're starting to fight. They know that the enemy bot lane are here. And they keep trying to fight. They know that Orianna is running down. There are no pings coming down, so they don't know where the fight will be. Caitlyn has the flash. At this point she should just be going, no, everybody back off. Orianna should be running away, but she's ghosted in instead. So they're looking to turn this around as a 3v3, but she can't. So Orianna's here. Gragas then gets the W kill onto the Rengar, but they still have 2 carries to deal with, and Yasuo is now here as well. There were no pings coming down prior to this, saying, okay, yep, Yasuo is missing, he's coming down. So they've just given over 2 kills for 2 kills. It was not a worth trade by any means, because red team lost a lot more summoners. They also lost their dragon pressure. Okay, so again, Fiora pushing this wave in. She should be looking to freeze it. She's still much stronger than Aurelia, because Aurelia hasn't hit an item spike yet. Much stronger, and keeps trying to push it. There is no need to push that wave in. This wave was okay to bounce in, because she's going for a recall. But even then, she could have afforded to have just frozen it here. And then, by the time Aurelia's pushed it, it's here. Yeah, they should be looking for the dragon here, okay? So, Bard is running around on his own. He's making roams to counter the Morgana. He knows that Morgana's in here, so he's staying around as well. He's creating equal pressure, and is acting kind of as a safety net. But now the Caitlyn is left here with no wards. Her trinket is here, in this bush. This bush doesn't help her at all. They need this river vision to be able to fight properly. Now she's getting solo XP. She doesn't know where the Lucian is, she doesn't know where the Rengar is. She only knows where the people on the top side of the map are. So yeah, Bard now mid, and Rengar, he's going to take Scuttle control. And because he's there, he's able to go and catch out Caitlyn. Okay, the Bard was in mid, fighting with Morgana. Gragas is on the top side of the map farming. You know, he's not in a position to back up his carries, which isn't a bad choice. He's denying gold from the enemies, but does give up a dragon for it. So, in future I would have said, until that dragon has fallen, try and stay and only invade on the bot side of the map, especially if you know you have a Bard who's roaming a lot. So, again, Fiora's fighting here. She's going to kill this Aurelia. Now, killing this Aurelia 3 times in the first 10 minutes is going to have a mental toll. She's going to be starting to feel it mentally and going, okay, I need to play a bit safer, a bit more passive, I don't want to die. So they should be looking to abuse her. Keep her dying, you know, keep killing her over and over. And at that point, she won't be able to do anything. So they get the pick on the Yasuo. They're putting their comp to use, going for the early picks. They're grouping up and trying to take the objectives, especially since they lost the dragon. Now, this Herald will be really strong on Fiora. Okay, so getting it, well, would have been very strong on her. It would have given her 5% extra damage reduction, and then loads of extra on-hit damage. But instead he goes onto the Orianna, which isn't the worst thing. Now this is miscommunication. Caitlyn was ulting. She was ulting the Lucian, and then Bard ults the Lucian. So that cancelled it, put the Caitlyn ult on cooldown, and wasted a load of mana, you know? So they need to be talking and communicating their abilities, otherwise, because that would have given them 2 kills in that situation. If Bard had gone before, okay, I'm going to ult Lucian, then Caitlyn would have had the extra 100 mana and would have been able to ult the Morgana at the end. So here's a mistake, okay? So Orianna here, she doesn't know her tower range, which goes like this, okay? So she's just out the range, and that tower is just behind her. So she walks, and it's caught in the middle between them where she won't take damage. And Yasuo knows that, so he goes in for that engage. He's able to almost kill the Orianna, and would have been able to if Fiora wasn't there. And that's because she didn't know the tower ranges and respect the damage. But luckily Fiora was there, so could clean up for a double kill. So kicking it back into double speed. So what should be happening here is Bard has the side step. Now the support and the jungler should be looking to group up together and go and ward. That is how they will get ahead in this game, is with the vision. It will allow them to split push, give their carries solo XP, you know? So Rengar has no flash, so they should definitely be looking to invade this jungle now. He can't flash over walls and gank them from nowhere. They will have to be able to see him before that. So they're in a really safe spot to go and ward. And you can see the Gragas goes in, he gets vision on his own. But he can only ward 2 exits, so Orianna's dead. There was no getting out of that. And that again is her not respecting damage. So coming in here, they're gonna fight. Okay, they've seen Rengar, Bard tries to cancel him. He should have really dropped it on himself, and that would have cancelled out the Rengar damage. But yeah, luckily Caitlyn's there, she's able to get a bit of cleanup, you know. So she gets 2 kills. Yeah, she gets 2 kills, and Fiora gets a kill top lane. So now Aurelia has died 5 times in just under 14 minutes. So she's definitely going to be feeling it now. They should be pressuring this top lane a lot, and really making the Aurelia tilt. Just pushing that advantage to its maximum. Now this is good, okay, because Fiora's getting really far ahead. She's 6-3 at 14 minutes. She's got a fully completed Ravenous, she's got Ninja Tabbies, and she's got a Cult, which is almost complete. So she's going to have a lot of gold to spend, and has had a lot of gold to spend. And it's just going to have a lot of damage as well. So Orianna whiffs the ult. Or not whiffs it, gets it black shielded, so it's not a very good trade there. A 15-second cooldown for a 90-second cooldown, you know? So, yeah, they should be looking to set up a 1-4. Okay, Caitlyn has BF Zeal. She's pretty strong. She's got double dagger as well. Got a lot of attack speed, got a lot of damage on the headshot. But instead Fiora's grouping up with them, which isn't a bad call. It means they can push in the mid. They know that Aurelia has no TP. They have 30 seconds on Dragon. Now what they should be doing is trying to get vision. Okay, they're going to force down this mid tower, or at least attempt to. But yeah. Now, it was very poor for the Caitlyn to have gotten caught by that binding. It was very easy to dodge, she had a long time to see it, and just didn't react in time. So, they're looking to go for this dragon now. It's a Cloud Drake, so plus 25 movement speed out of combat, which will be good for their team. It will allow, when they do get to split pushing, to group up much faster. So this is a really good play, just in case you didn't realise. So they've actually gotten a pick here. This is not a team fight, this is a pick. Okay. They caught this Aurelia unawares in this bush. They've almost killed her. Bardo comes up, it was a really nice Bardo. And then they're going to catch the Yasuo. So Bard dies to the Rengar. But now they've lost 1 carry. And yeah. So there was a bit of a mistake there. Okay, so Gragas stepped forward for the Rengar, which allowed the Lucian to slip in. They didn't want that happening. If the Gragas had just turned onto the Lucian, as he should have done, Caitlyn would still be alive, and they'd have 4 people alive to take down this tower. So, yeah, they're looking for this dragon now. They have a pink ward here, so they can tell if Rengar ults in from the top side of the map. And they're just gonna duel it. Fiora's safe to take it mid, to take the tower. And they've seen Rengar now. Okay, so they know where he is. He's in here. Fiora's coming around the back. Now Gragas doesn't have to be standing here, but he does. They do a really good job as a team. So they stop attacking the dragon, bait the Rengar into jumping in, so it's swept, so they can't actually see what HP the dragon's on. So he jumps in. There's still 1200 HP on this dragon. He smites it instantly. So then it goes down to 200 HP, they kill the Rengar, and they walk off with the dragon. So that was a really good play by them. They really abused the enemy's lack of knowledge. And yeah, baited them into a really unfavorable situation. So Fiora again, she's going deep, she's got no mana, she doesn't need it. So Caitlyn's going to get a big wave bot lane. There's only a 3 CS difference between her and Lucian right now. And yeah, Lucian's actually, well, they're about even on gold, okay. So they both got 2 kills, there's 1 assist between them. So it's, yeah. Caitlyn's actually ahead by about 50 gold. So it's nothing significant. Now Bard should not have been here on his own. It's like what I was saying earlier. It needs to be the jungler and the support, or the jungler and the top laner, or no, the support and the top laner. You know, just going together. Somebody like Bard needs a front line, and it's the same with every support. They need some kind of front line with them, or something to do damage. So what's happened here is Gragas was caught here, going to help the Bard, and could not fight with them. Fiora's teleported in and is now fighting with them in here. Orianna was 1v1ing with the Yasuo and got pushed up all the way to the back. Caitlyn's running up, she's ulted Lucian already, and is now joining in the fight with auto attacks. So this is a 5v3. But these 3 people are so fed on their teams that they can't afford to fight as a fight. So Fiora on her own kills 2 people. Then Caitlyn here makes a big mistake. Caitlyn kites into this choke point as opposed to kiting towards her team. That's where she should have headed. So instead has to burn a flash when all that was needed was to run. Now, if I was Orianna, I would not have chased this. It's much better for them to just run as 3 and take this tower. But instead, it looks like they're only going to send 2. Yeah. So they're only going to send 2 people to take the tower instead. Which again isn't the worst, they get an ace. But yeah, they could have just had the 3 people, you know, fighting this. Bard was there ready to cut him off. Bard can kill him. So they'll be looking, what they should be looking to do here is set up these side waves. Get both pushing, get this outer tower down, get both side lanes pushing, and go for an Asher. That is their safest option. They're a considerable amount ahead. Almost, yeah, 7k. So yeah, they're a considerable amount ahead. Orianna gets killed, she was in a poor position, but Gragas gets the execute with the ulti. So yeah, they're a considerable amount ahead, and they should be looking to push down these big objectives that will help them close out the game. Fiora again, being a monster, is just able to kill people. She can go over terrain with a complete lack of vision. Just because she knows if somebody is on that side of the wall, she can kill them, and then move on to the next target. That's the reality of her situation right now. She can fight wherever she wants to, and she can fight whoever she wants to. So top lane is pushing really hard, so they're having to keep Lucian there, so they know where he is. Rengar, they can give an educated guess as he's going to go and farm. So only Morgana is actually bot lane. They know that Aurelia won't go to fight the Fiora because Fiora is way too strong. Aurelia's died 8 times in the last 20 minutes, you know, so she's not wanting to fight anybody. So she'll be looking to just farm up and get some items. So they group up, they're looking now to push down inhib towers, they're looking to catch people out. Now this fight really isn't needed. They could have just stood there, taken this tower, and then carry on going. So, yeah, Caitlyn again is at the back, caught on her own. This is a really bad habit of the AD always walking at the back. You need them in the middle of your group when you're running between points. So they're going for a Nashor. This is a good Nashor call, but they don't have very good vision. So they're going to get some on the way, like they get one here, they get one there. And I think they get one, yeah. Yeah, so all the entrances are covered. But again, there's one pink ward, but it's a bit of a late pink ward. At this point, so if Rengar comes in from here, he gets pretty much a free smite, just because it's so far away. Yeah, so they secure the smite. Bard puts down a really nice magical journey, which allows the entire team to escape, and they even pick up the free kill when Yasuo decides to follow. So they keep the fight going. This is Gragas is a bit overextended here, and again, that's the whole thing of Aurelia abusing this positioning. Bard went through, instantly gets destroyed. That's just the power of Aurelia. Like, she's died 8 times, but she can still put out that damage. She does still have 6 kills, so she has a lot of gold. So it's 7.8k, whereas Fiora has 13k, so Fiora has almost double her gold. So yeah, it's a pretty good big gold deficit in that top lane right now. So what Fiora should be looking to do is just split push, that's it. She's doing a good job of denying the enemy jungle their CS. Yeah, she should be looking to get this tower. Now is not the time of the game where she wants to be freezing and slow pushing the game. She wants to just be hard pushing this top lane, drawing as much attention to her as she can, so the rest of the team can push bot lane, mid lane, etc. Now it's another Cloud Drake up. Getting this extra 25, so it'll be the second one, which puts it to 50 out of combat move speed. Is going to help speed up their rotations a lot. As a team, they're not rotating badly, and they're not rotating slowly. This will just speed them up even further. No, yeah. What happened before this? Sorry. I just skipped over it. So Caitlyn's top side. Caitlyn should not be up here. Caitlyn should be with the rest of their team. They have a 1-4 comp, so they want to have 1 person top lane or bot lane, and 4 people anywhere else. Now this Caitlyn is not the one. She is in the 4. And what she instead does is run head first into an Aurelia, into melee range, so that Aurelia can do whatever she wants. So yeah, now they have 1 damage source, 1 utility support, and 1 tank to fight against 2 really high damage sources, an assassin, and a utility. So you can do that math in your head. It's not a good situation to be in. So Caitlyn dies, Orianna dies, and Gragas dies. Is Bard gonna die? No, Bard doesn't die. In exchange for AT2 top. Okay, so that was not a good situation for them to be in. They may also get this tower, depending on whether or not she can use attack resets efficiently. So yeah, okay, so they get 2 towers for it. But even then, they lost 4 people. Or 3 people. Now just by having that Caitlyn over by Dragon, it would have changed that fight dramatically. Yeah. So the Fiora still would have gotten both towers. The Caitlyn being a top did not influence that fight in any way. In the top lane anyway. But it dramatically threw this one. So as a team, they should be looking at their win conditions now going, okay, why didn't that work? Why were we not successful running a 2-3 comp? And then they should be identifying, okay, we have a 4-1, not a 3-2, or 2-3. So then, from now on, they should just be running with 1 person in the side lanes, and that 1 person being Fiora. So what they should be doing here, bot lane is slow pushing, top lane is slow pushing into them, so they should go and sort out this wave. They want it to be slow pushing into the enemies so that they can get a safe Baron when it spawns. And Fiora does just that. She runs bot lane to become a magnet. Okay, so they're sending 3 people, well, what should be 4, top again. But once again, Caitlyn is not with them. Okay, she's had a lot of time to pick up this red buff. And she picks until now to then go and first of all take Krugs, but then also take red buff. So it's a very slow rotation. There is no tower here. They can head in as a 4 without any minions and take this. They don't need to clear the wave. And that is what they realise, but only after it's too late. So at this point they've seen Yasuo pushing. Their Fiora has died. So this should have already been down, but again, the Caitlyn is not with them. The Caitlyn does a lot of damage to the structures, and now they're going to lose a T2. So they traded a 450 gold shutdown, their main split pusher, and 2 towers for the sake of an inhib and a red buff. Now that's not a good trade by any means. So the Yasuo does execute here, which is a smart move by him. He was not getting out. But it does also put his team at a significant disadvantage. Death timers at this point are 40 seconds, 45 seconds. So not having them for that long is gonna hurt their team a lot. Now, here's when they start to use their comp properly. They have 4 people in mid, and they have 1 person in bot lane. Caitlyn mispositions, but the rest of her team, being so strong with their siege and their zone control, they're able to completely turn that situation upside down. They are able to catch out the Lucian, who tries to go aggressive and capitalize on the mistake, but ends up being caught in a worse position than the Caitlyn. And that's because he steps out in front. So here they should just be focusing on killing the inhibs, not looking at fighting with the enemies, which is what this Caitlyn does. She gets greedy, decides to try and start fighting, decides she wants to up that damage value, and instead actually ends up dying for it. Put it that way. So what should have been a nice clean 2 inhib take has turned into a really sloppy fight, because Caitlyn was stood here between 2 inhibs with a Yasuo facing her, and then gets caught over here. So what's going to happen here is they're not going to be able to turn this fight. They haven't got enough damage now. They've lost their Orianna utility, and so they're stuck. So what they want to be doing here is just fighting. They're not going to escape. They should be looking to kill and damage as many people as possible, just to slow them down. Now what Fiora could have done is stopped here, turned and fought, and then Gragas could have run away. But instead, Fiora keeps trying to escape. She doesn't want to be shut down again. So that means that they keep chasing, they're the same distance, and then Gragas gets killed here. But yeah, so that whole fight became a big sloppy mess because of Caitlyn. Like, it's not the best to be putting blame on like that, but that's the reality of it. Caitlyn was stood here and was trying to fight. There was no need for her to fight. She could have happily stood here, taken this inhib, run along the back of the map, or the back of the base, and then killed this. There was no need to fight there. That was just searching for kills, and it didn't work out favourably for them. So what they want to be doing here is taking this back. Orianna gets a really nice pick on the Rengar, but does also show herself bot lane. Now, the enemy team have to employ 2 defenders. They can't just keep 1, because these waves are going to push really hard. So we're just going to speed this up for a second. Now they start this Baron. So they have no pink wards around. They've got 2 traps there, 3 traps there, and a ward. They have this Baron buff now. Okay, the enemy cannot defend at this point. They've got huge waves coming in. Orianna's done a really good job of pushing, and does unfortunately get picked up there. She has to flash away, and what would have been a better idea was run towards this wall and actually flash back into the base. Now it seems like a really obscure idea, but it would have pushed her away from the Rengar and the Yasuo, which were both here. So it's something that isn't easy to identify in the moment, but it's still a critical element of this game. So this is a secure win, and yeah, so that's the game. If you enjoyed,